we'll be laying out the screens with some sample layouts. So we scroll down the page and we'll see at the bottom of the page that we don't have any Syspro related lists. So we're going to drag those onto the screen. And so each of these blocks is called a related list. And they are basically records that are related to this account. At the top right of your page, if you click on Edit Layout, this is a standard Salesforce functionality. Click Edit Layout. Our demonstration of how to lay out the screens will be for the general use. I'm going to scroll down to the bottom. You'll see our related lists. So the first thing we'll do is take our Syspro customer record, our invoice payments, our invoices, multi-ship addresses, sales order detail lines, sales orders, dispatches. So I've highlighted the items I want to drag onto the screen. Let me scroll down a bit further. I'm going to drag them down to the bottom here. So we're going to set up a few. Syspro customer record is the first one. So what you first of all want to do, you'll see this new button is highlighted on each record. So you click the wrench on the Syspro customer record. The first thing you do is you come down to the buttons bar at the bottom. You uncheck the new box. Go back to the columns. Now we have to decide what do we want to see in our Syspro customer record. What is of interest? Come down here and pick the items we want to see. So I'll take over the branch, bring across the credit limit. That's often a common thing. The credit status. Perhaps you're interested in the customer class, and of course, are they on hold? Perhaps you'd like to know the date of the last sale. And this is really what you have to do, is go through this and see what field is of interest here. Invoice count. Bring it across. We can always remove it in a minute. You can only put 10 fields in these lists to get a quick glance of the customer record. It says I've reached my limit of 10. So let me go ahead and take out the branch. It's not always that important. And put that salesperson in. So I'm going to go ahead and press on OK. Click on Save. Say yes. The layouts that I just started to do, now I can see a customer record. What we have to do now is repeat the same exercise for each of these records. So scrolling to the top, click on Edit Layout, and we'll scroll to the bottom section. We've done the customer record. Next thing I would recommend is you move the invoices up. You can choose the way you want this done. Multi-ship addresses, same thing. Click on the wrench. First thing you do is turn off the new button, go to the columns. We come across here and we pick up the fields that are of interest. That's that. Next thing is the sales orders. Go down the list. Let's just go with that. The sorting, if you've got 15 sales orders, which ones do you want to appear at the top? I'm going to take the sales order number and make it descending. So the most recent sales order numbers will be at the top. Press OK. I forgot to take off that new button, so I'll click on the wrench, click on the buttons and uncheck the new. Next thing is the sales order detail lines. So we click on the wrench, bring across the comments because that's where your line comments show up. I would recommend you bring over the sales order line itself. So let me take off this M unit quantity. We're out of space, so we're going to have to take off some of these entries. So I'm going to take off the line type and I'm going to put that stock code back on, sorted by this first field, descending, and you can always change the sort if that doesn't work out for us. Uncheck that box, OK, and we'll click on Save. Now we're looking at some nice data. We'll take a sales order that's completed, click on this one, and you can see that it's just a long list of fields on the screen. What we can do is edit the layout. I personally like to create sections to my screen. So if you drag the section button and you drop it, it'll ask you what's the name of this. I like to add my addresses and I'll say OK. I can have another section if I wish. Let's call it Order Header. We can make another one called Other if you wish. Let's call it Additional Info. We'll come down here. If there's anything you don't want on the screen, such as the GST system, which is a Canadian tax system in Syspro, just click the records you don't want. You can hold down the control button to click multiple, and you just drag them and drop them in the box at the top. Done. What we're going to do next is come down to the addresses. We take the addresses, we drag them. Let's keep my shipping addresses on the left. Let's bring out some classic information that everybody needs to know on the order header. Obviously, this order status, we'll bring that up here. Order type, maybe that's an important field for you guys. Let's bring out the status. If you can't find this field, make sure it's being dropped in here. And if you need to, press Control F on your keyboard. The browser's find window will come up and you can type in the word status. And there it is. So I can just drag that up and I'll drop that over there. Next thing I would do is grab additional information that is of interest but not that important. Basically, you grab the fields that you are not too concerned about and you can put them in the additional info. I actually prefer to grab them all and put them into these sections. I can move things around a little bit. Nice thing about when you create these sections is you can collapse them. So if we click on Save, as I said, you can collapse these pieces of information if your screen is too busy.